Welcome to our lesson 1-4, which is going to be evaluating square roots and cube roots. So if you have me for class, we already kind of learned about this in a pre-lesson, and now here's our true lesson with the story problems and all the things that go with it. Okay, so to start off, you may need to pause the video and get the actual definitions of cube root and perfect cube. Remember, when we're talking about the cube root, we're looking for the length of one side of a cube and we are given the volume, okay? One thing that we should maybe put on here on our definitions is that a cube root looks like this. We're going to have a little 3 on the outside of our radical sign, okay? And then you will have the volume on the inside of that. So maybe the volume is 64, and you are trying to figure out then the side length of that cube if the volume is 64, whatever units cubed. Okay, let's jump right into our first example. So example 1 says, Leah is building a birdhouse for purple martins. And I'm going to zoom this in. Birds that prefer cube-shaped birdhouses. So I drew a little cube-shaped birdhouse here. You don't have to draw it, but I just wanted you to see what's going on. What are the dimensions of each square piece of wood that Leah needs to build a 216 cubic inch birdhouse? So the idea is a cube, all of these side lengths are going to be the same. And to get volume, remember, we do this. Volume equals length times width times height on a cube. And so these are the length and the width and the height are all going to be the same number. So what we're trying to figure out is what number times itself again is going to give us 216 inches cubed. So the only good way to do this is to guess and check, okay? So here's a calculator on here. Let's say we're going to guess, I don't know, 4. If we do 4 times 4 times 4 and press equal, we get 64. So that's not big enough. So we know we're going to have to do larger than 4. I'm not going to choose 5 because I know if I multiply something by 5, it's either going to end in a 5 or a 0, and this ends in a 6. So I'm going to try 6. 6 times 6 times 6, and I got it. So what we were looking for is 6 is going to be our length, 6 is our height or our width, and 6 is our height as well. So the answer to the question is, what are the dimensions? The dimensions are 6 in length, 6 in width, and 6 in height, and those are all in inches. And they're all the same. And so essentially what we were trying to find is the cube root of 216, which looks like this if you don't have anything else. If it wasn't a story problem, we're looking for the cube root. Okay, let's do a try it without all of the story problem. It says, oh, there is a small stories problem. I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave the try it for you guys to do because it's exactly like we've done up here, except for it's changing the problem a little bit, but in using 64. So I'm going to leave that for you to do. And if you paid attention, we already found that answer in the last one when we guessed. All right, let's try example 3. This one is without any of the story problem. Okay, so it's hard to see, but there is a little 3 on this 64. There is not a number on the 100. There is not a number in front of the 49. And there's a little 3 in front of this 8. Okay, so there's a difference. So this one's asking us for the cube root of 64. So again, we're looking for what number times itself again equals 64. Okay, so again, you guess and check. If you were paying attention earlier, we did find that. We tried 4 times 4 times 4. And we got 64. So the answer to the cube root of 64, this is the work. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. But our answer is simply 4 when we do this. Okay, that's our answer. Now, if we go to B, what is the square root now of 100? We know it's a square root because there's not the little 3 on the top. So this is asking us what number times itself, see, notice there's only 2, is equal to 100. And so we should be able to get that in our head. We know that 10 times 10 is 100. So the answer to this one is simply 10. And that's our answer. Okay, I'm going to leave the square root of 49 and the cube root of 8 for you to do on your own. Okay, one last story problem here today. And I've set it up already, but let's read it. Sean cuts one sheet of poster paper to cover a bulletin board exactly. The area of the board is 144 square inches. What are the dimensions of the poster paper? Okay, so you have to have a little knowledge of paper. Is paper two-dimensional or three-dimensional? And not only that, you get what this is in the question. The area, this is two-dimensional. Okay, so area, because it is two-dimensional, there's a little 2 on the inches squared. That means that we're not trying to find a cube root when I'm looking for the answer. I am trying to find a square root. So if I know the area is 144 inches and it is a square, I'm looking for, remember, area is just length times width, not length times width times height. And those are going to be the same on a square. So I'm looking for what number times itself is equal to 144 this time. Okay, and so again, this is one we learn in elementary school. What number times itself is 144? Well, 12 times 12 is going to give us 144. So the dimensions here, the length is 12 inches and the height is 12 inches, or width, you could say. And that's the answer to the question. Okay, hopefully this helps you out. If you are in my class, your assignment today starts on page 30 of your book. Okay, so your book, page 30, and you are going to complete numbers 1 through 15. That's our assignment today. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or come see me, and I will help you as soon as I can.